Just it generates surrogate keys every time. Before it generates, it goes to the database, to the particular table, and it fetches the maximum record there, maximum record ID, and then it increments from there onwards. Okay. Select the database functions. Again, I'll come back from the beginning. Select the functions. Click on database. Select the function name called key generation. Choose it. Set the input table is your target table. Time dimension. Key column is your date ID. Increment is by 1. Right? See, that's it. So now first column has been mapped. Now we need to map the remaining stuff. Let's see. Date ID is actually a Julian date. He wants to map a Julian date in here. Okay, there is a function actually, Julian date. Let us map that one. Sorry guys, let me take out. We could write Julian directly like this. Okay, and apply. Sorry forget about the date key here. I was confused a bit here. This is just to apply a Julian date. Okay, the example is showing like a Julian date. And then the year number is, we need to convert to populate only the year from the date. Okay, come back to the year here. So here what they shown was 2char. Took care of DA generated date, and then apply wise year. That means you are extracting only year, right? And what are the other columns? I just wanted to get the month and quarter as well. Okay, month. See, we can write month like this. Otherwise, we can choose functions, select the date functions. There we have month. Okay, input date is date generation, DA generated date. That's it. Either way, we can do that. QUARTER, quarter, and say drag the DA generated date from input schema, close the braces, say apply. Right?
Okay.
Native date is nothing but just your DA generated date. That's it. Don't have to do anything. Right? This is just a warning, guys. Ignore the warning. Save the definition. Okay? Save all. And again, you could see a warning here. There's a data type conversion from varchar 16 to so and so. Ignore that. It doesn't harm you. What we did was we just took one column from date generation transformation. We instructed data services to generate series of dates from starting from 1st Jan 2012 to 31st December 2012 and increment daily. That means it generates 365 days. Okay, and loads the data, and it calculates month number, quarter number, and then a year number. Okay, let us see. We'll run the job now. I'm running the job in a debug mode. Interesting. Okay. Contains unconnected components. Okay. Okay. Look at this. It has generated 366 days starting from 1st of Jan 2012 to come down all the way 31st December 2012. It has generated, right? Now see this. Date ID is Julian ID, Julian date ID, and month number, quarter number, and a year. And then if the month has changed, still it's the same quarter, month number has changed. See this? See this. From 4th onwards, the quarter, it has come to second quarter. From 4th month onwards, guys, I could see some disturbance somewhere. I could hear some songs as well, interestingly.
Oh.
I got a quick question with you. I got a quick question with you, Sudhir.
Yeah. Go ahead, Arvind.
This is Raju. The date ID is date ID. How does it generate? From what date does it take? Is it how does it generate date ID?
Okay, it's actually a Julian ID.
What is the?
It's a Julian.
Okay, it's a Julian ID. Okay, how does it calculate? Because it has some just number. How does it calculate?
There is a significance of this one. It's not just number. Julian, as someone created a calendar, from that day onwards, Jan 1st of that day would become 1st.
Yeah, but
and December 31st.
What is the year?
I didn't remember that correctly.
Okay,
Yeah, can I say that I think it's a solution to the Y2K problem. It includes the century, and the format will be like, it will be having the century and the year and the day of the year. Like it is, if we have 365 days, so one day, the number of the day will be in that year, so we can get that one. So it's century, year, and the day of the year. So probably why Julian has come into existence is because it's a Y2K solution, as I came to know. So is it right, Suresh?
I have no clue about that one. This is something that I'm hearing now.
Okay.
Could be.
Could be. Maybe
you're right.
Because the format is century and year and day. So when we talk about the century, it's obvious that I came to know that it's a Y2K solution. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Could be. I have no clue.
So it's a numeric value, right? It's just a numeric value, right? I mean, it's a calculated through the calendar years, but it's a numeric, right? Where we can
absolutely. It's a numeric value. You could see that in here.
Okay,
decimals.
Because I just want to say, if you want to calculate for 3 days, then we can calculate only, take 3 days of those days, minus of those days, whatever it is, right?
Right.
If you want to calculate for 3 days, we can do that from there. Okay, that's all I wanted to know. Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. So, using this date generation transformation, we have generated a time dimension for our small data mart. So using this one, we could apply, we can create as many columns as we want, and we can apply as many functions, as many date functions. We could see the date in a month, date in a week, day in a year, fiscal day, what's the last date of the month, and then the month, week in a month, week in a year. We could apply all these functions, and then we can generate the actual proper time dimension. For our small data mart purpose, the example has given these many columns, and we have generated using those things. So date generation transformation is the only transformation where it can generate the entire one particular dimension. That's the beauty and usage of this one.
Sudhir, why
one
should
more
we?
Thing. Yeah. Yes.
Why
Sir.
should we use date generation? I could just use some functions and calculate the date, right?
Yes, you could do that, but this is a feature data services is giving, so it's better to leverage that.
Okay, I have
we really
another
don't
question.
have to use a separate a transformation. We really don't have to build a job to generate a date dimension. Most of the times people go for a PL SQL function and then PL SQL procedure, they just run it. It's a one-time load because we don't run every day.
Okay, the other question is, you said date generation. I mean, why did you join this workflow with the other one? I mean, it was throwing an error, right? This should
yes.
by itself, right?
It should execute. I need to understand that one. It says that these things are not connected serially. It's supposed to connect serially. That's what it said. I need to validate and see that.
Okay, so but I mean, within a job we can have multiple workflows, right? That is running parallelly, right?
Right.
They don't need
to
connect, correct? Okay.
We really don't need that one. This is something that I'm seeing you. Maybe I'm missing somewhere or what.
I think are we using any temp table as that was obtained in the previous workflow as a target in the workflow as a source, something like that? So we are not using. So why is it throwing up there? Like I took out that one, but basically I just not asked that one.
Even I didn't know this one. This is something. We used to have parallel workflows. And then data flows inside the workflows are in parallel. Some of them are actually parallel. Some of them are actually serial. Either you should have it as a parallel or a serial. That's what it's saying. I'm just wondering this one. Either we need to connect them as a serial or we need to connect them as a parallel. That's what it's saying. What we could do is.
I think we can just write it in the log and we'll discuss even with Ganesh in the next class. That should be like this issue.
Yeah, maybe I'm missing something in here. We need to group all these things into one workflow, and then we can call that as a parent workflow, and then we can have those two workflows, time dimension and the customer, the parent workflow can run parallelly. We can say that. We can instruct that to data services.
Okay, so
or is it because if you go back, can you go back?
Right.
See, you are seeing there are two workflows already that are running in sequence, which is WF region and WF cust region.
Right.
And then if you are not connecting the time dimension, that means within a job you are telling two workflows to execute sequentially, and then another single workflow to execute in parallel to the complete other flow, correct?
Right. That's what it's actually saying to me. See, you're executing all these workflows and data flows in serial, but why you are executing this particular time dimension is in a parallel mode? It's supposed to be either connected or all of them should be, should execute in a parallel.
So let us think at this aspect, like why do we get that serial sequence and parallel?
That's what I'm doing now. I'm just cutting all these things, and I'll try to paste in here. Now these are all corrected serially, and parent region and time dimensions are.
Now let us try to do that.
Should execute parallel.
Now let's validate. See, I didn't get any
Yeah,
error.
now the error is not showing up. Yeah, you're right.
So, right? So I forgot to group them actually. Okay? Because these are the dependent objects, right? So maybe it's expecting something. Right. I missed this part. So these two workflows can execute parallelly. Right?
Yes.
So Sudhir, what did you do there? You copied everything and put them in one workflow?
Yes, I created something called a parent workflow.
Okay.
And then I copied all of them into one workflow.
Okay. So that means within a job you cannot have sequential and parallel workflow?
No, we can have a parallel workflows, but a workflow cannot have sequential data. It should have either sequential flows or a parallel flows.
Okay.
See this
but you
particular.
can have
See a job can have parallel flows. Okay. But within this job, within the workflow, we have created all of them as a series, right? So if I disconnect this one, again it throws the same error. Either all of these things should be connected or see that. Because I just disconnected the flow here. Either all of the flows, data flows or workflows within the main workflow should be connected serially or should be executed parallelly.
Is it maybe the reason when you disconnect and you're getting the error is because the workflow cust region or the other region, they are depending on those data flows to load the temp table, right?
Well, not exactly. In earlier scenario, the time dimension is entirely independent of all these dimensions or stage areas. We are not using any of the stage table or any of the target table here. This is absolutely brand new table, and this is absolutely a new transformation here. We are not reusing any of the previous workflow objects. It should not throw error in that sense. But here the problem is data flow cannot execute parallel in parallel. Again, see the workflows itself are actually executing in parallel, right? And within that, we are trying to execute all of them in parallel.
So let me. I asked this question to Ganesh also, I guess. Okay. So my question is, in a project, how many jobs? I mean, is it okay to have all the workflows in one job, or do we need to have like? What is your recommendation? What is your recommendation on number of jobs and number of workflows? Like, how do we design the entire conversion? Let's say I have like 100 conversions to do within a project. Okay.
Okay.
What is my design?
Okay. See, it again depends upon the volume of the data that we are transferring from one place to another, and it depends upon the organization standards, and it depends upon how the team is building these flows. All of them are actually very well planned and prepared. All of them are deployed at once. That's a different story. And if the organization have their own standards, if the organization has its own standard that you need to build only one job within a work, only one data flow, for that you must have to have only one workflow, and everything should be coupled in one job. Some organizations, they restrict their developers to use in that particular format because they might have encountered one or two instances and they wanted to stick not to make such errors in future.
So my point is, let's say within my organization, nobody knows data services. Okay.
Right.
They give that responsibility to me. Okay. So I go into the project and for me, if you ask me, like I will pick like, okay, I have 10 conversions to do. I will do like 10 jobs and I will put them, each job will have each workflow which is relevant to that particular conversion. Okay. But later on, if someone else comes in and they're going to say, oh no, why they did this like 10 ways? They could have done it in one. So what is the what is the recommendation by SAP? Okay, what is the recommendation? Are they telling, okay, if they ask me as a data service person, experienced person, if they ask me, okay, what is your recommendation? What should I tell them?
See, my recommendation is if all of them are actually independent conversions, okay, I would suggest to have group them in a 5 data flows. Have 5 data flows, group them in one workflow, or maybe 5 different workflows based on your recoverability and restartability techniques, and have them 1 or 2 data jobs. That's very easy to maintain. You can say that I have built only 2 jobs with a multiple number of workflows.
You should see the dependency from source to staging and staging to the data warehouse. Whenever you want to group var workflows, data flows in var workflow, you should see the dependencies first. Then you have to design your things.
Right, that's very good point. But I started with all of them are actually independent flows. So I really meant that when I say independent, all of them should be independent. The customer is independent, sales is independent, finance is independent. All of these dimensions are not related to any of the dimensions or any of the tables. In that sense, you can group them. Whenever there is a dependency, we should make a different job, or maybe have a parent-child relationships kind of workflows, something similar to this. So the best recommendation would be have a 5 data flows in a workflow, and if you have a better restartability and recoverability techniques. If everything left on you, if organization is actually counting on your design skills, what are the best practices that you need to implement? It's better to have if all of your flows are independent, you can group them in one flow, one job. If they are dependent, you can set them in a different flows based on your restartability and recoverability mechanisms. If you group all of them in a one workflow or a data flow, in a one job, the major concern would be the restartability. Let's say 5 data flows are grouped in one job, and all of the 4 data flows have executed successfully, and 5th one has actually failed. Sometimes you need to restart only the 5th one. You do not want to start the other 4 ones which are got executed successfully. In that case, if you have a better restartability mechanism, you can go ahead and bundle all the data flows. Otherwise, it's always better to bundle one data flow in one job. That's it.
Okay, one data flow. So so correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, if I'm having like 5 conversions, I put them like your as per your example, which is really good. I mean, if 4 of my jobs, 4 of my data flows ran well, and the 5th one failed. Okay, so that means if let's say if I put them in one workflow with 5 data flows, to execute it, I need to execute all of them together, right?
Right.
So
in that case, you can do one more thing. You can have 5 workflows. Each and every workflow will have its own data flow.
Okay.
Okay, and have a better restartability mechanism there. Have a try-catch block, and then whenever there is a failure of a workflow, you can have that, and then you can run parallel. Otherwise, you can have 5 different jobs. All of them can be kicked at the same time. No worries.
So if one fails, even because I'm going to execute it at the job level, right?
Right.
Since we are going to have anyway 5 workflows, again they are going to execute everything, right?
That's what I said. You must have to have a better restartability there. Even if you have a workflow, it's just a parent. It's a cover of your data flow.
So when you say restartability, is it any control table which will control?
Yes, there are tables. There are some metadata tables.
So
are
there any mechanism in data services where we can use that table?
Actually, click on the properties, recover as unit. There is an option under your workflow options, parameters, recover as unit. I'll check with Ganesh. If Ganesh has this in his agenda, I'll ask him to take it up. Otherwise, I'll take it at last.
I saw one more option there.
Yeah, execute at once. Execute only once.
Okay, so
that means if you select this one, there will be an indication here. This particular workflow will be executed only once, and it will not execute a number of times.
So let's say if I have 5 workflows, okay?
Okay.
Or within a job, I have 5 workflows. Each workflow is having one data flow, okay?
Okay.
And I select the option execute only once, okay? So let's say the job is executing and my 5th job fails, okay? 5th job fails, okay? And I'm going to go and fix the error on the 5th job, okay? And then I'm going to execute the job again. Since I have the others as execute only once, they won't be executed now, right? Only the 5th job would be executed, right?
They won't be executed, and they won't be executed ever even if you try to execute further times, no, they won't be executed ever.
So that's a good approach, right?
Execute only once. No. I'm saying, okay, today you are running, right? Today you are running for your just 1 month load. You ran first 5 loads, executed them in parallel. All of 4 of them have passed successfully, and 1 got failed. Now you rerun the job again. 4 workflows didn't kick off, but the other failure one has actually kicked off. Fine, which is fine. Now that has got completed successfully. Now other day you have come, you're trying to execute the same job for some other data set.
It will not execute at all, right?
It will not execute at all. But you do not want to do that because you just wanted to execute only whenever there is a failure. So for that, either we need to build a separate control table and look for a value, something like in a past, success, a failed kind of indicators. Based on that indicators, we need to play with the data segments. There is no straight mechanism for that. We do have it. It's not that controlled mechanism.
Okay.
We do have this recover as unit and execute only once kind of things. We do have some mechanisms, but it's not that controlled. We must have to have our own design for restartability and recoverability.
How about if you uncheck the
one second, please. Sure. I'm getting an echo. It's a kind of disturbance I couldn't hear properly. Yes, please go ahead now.
How about if you uncheck once every that as we discussed, the 5th one is failed, right? How about if we uncheck later part, if you want to execute the 5th one is executed at the end after we amend something on the code or whatever level it is. How about if we want to rerun again for the next day or a week after that? How about if we uncheck the execute one time? Is it going to run at that time or it's not going to run?
Yeah, if we uncheck it, it definitely executes. The only problem here is you can't change the production loads. If it's a development play area, we can play whatever we want to do that. We can definitely do that. Now I can uncheck, I can check any time, as many times. But in production, we can't do that, right?
Okay. All right. I got you. All right.
So, yeah.
You are explaining about sequential.
Yes, Aravind. Yeah. I said, we must either have all these, in connected serially or execute them in a parallel mode. Is that one that you are looking for, or you are looking for?
No. We have three types of lookup, right? You missed the last one. Lookup sequence.
No. Lookup sequence. First of all, you need to practice the lookup ext. Lookup sequence is, it's a very rarely that we use. I'll try to give a heads up on that. Okay. Where we can generate a sequence for that and then we can use it. I just wanted to know, today's my agenda is I just wanted to cover as much as I can. Still we are at the platform transformations. I have completed the map operation and I wanted to get on to the other transformations as well.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Right, a lookup sequence is something that you can practice. It's a self-explanatory. But if you guys stuck up with something, definitely I'm here to help you. But that particular lookup lookup sequence is very rarely that we use. Very rare. Trust me, very rare. Even lookup we don't use it. Lookup ext is the one we mostly use. Okay. Now we have loaded the time dimension.